I'm Dale Cox. Some people like to call me an armchair historian, although my chair today doesn't have arms, so think about that. In this episode, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the pirate base history of Prospect Bluff. Prospect Bluff is down on the Apalachicola River. It's 20 miles above the city of Apalachicola. A lot of people know part of it as Fort Gadsden. That only takes in a small part of the bluff. The bluff is actually about 1 mile long, and many people do not know that in 1799, the famed rogue of the Gulf Coast, William Augustus Bowles, planned to use this as a base of pirate or privateer, as he liked to call it, operations on the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Bowles had been in Spanish prison for quite a while when he finally managed to escape, visit England, and come back to Florida in 1799. And he arrived back in a very foul mood. He had finally gotten support from Great Britain, all to see it dashed onto the sandy shores of St. George Island in a hurricane. He lost his ship, he lost his cannon, he lost all the supplies he brought back with him, and he finally made it ashore, and he decided to go a-pirating, as they said in those days. He had what he called the state of Muskogee, which was actually kind of an offshoot that he set up himself. He had the support of a fairly small part of the Creek Nation, some Seminoles, some Yuchi, and some Miccosukee. He also had folks from the Bahamas. He had some renegade outlaws from the United States, from Canada, from other places. He had some Maroons who were self-liberated slaves from the United States. And so he decided to start issuing letters of marque. He declared war against Spain and issued letters of marque for ships to go out on the Gulf of Mexico and strike against Spanish shipping. Now, these were in no way legal. His state of Muskogee wasn't even recognized by Muskogee, let alone by any other country. So they were pirate ships, is what these privateers were. And so his initial plan was to set up a base for his operations at Prospect Bluff. Whether his fort was on the site of the later forts, the fort at Prospect Bluff that the British later built, which many people, particularly in the United States, called the Negro Fort, or later Fort Gadsden, we don't know. No one has found the remains of his fort yet, or whether it was somewhere else on the bluff. We just don't know. But we do know that he was building a fort. He had built a warehouse, and he had built some barracks of some type for his sailors. Now, the Spanish found out that this was going on there, and so they sent some of their Mississippi River galleys to Prospect Bluff to attack Bowles. They came up the Apalachicola River. Bowles was pretty smart by now. He had no desire to return to Spanish captivity, so he built his own cabin upriver a little bit, up around Owl Creek somewhere. The Spanish came in, they attacked his operation at Prospect Bluff, they captured some of his followers. From them they learned that Bowles was not at Prospect Bluff, he was at the next creek upriver. They marched overland with their soldiers while the galleys themselves went up the Apalachicola River and turned into this creek up near Hickory Landing. They went into that creek. They almost got him. They attacked his cabin. They said that he got away wearing only his shirt, I believe is what they wrote. They did capture his wife, Mary Perryman, who was the daughter of the Seminole chief, Thomas Perryman. When they realized how important she was, they immediately turned her loose. They almost captured Bowles. They chased him through the swamps, but he managed to escape, wearing literally only the clothes on his back. They burned his fort, they burned his warehouse, they captured some of his personal goods and supplies, and they lay offshore for a while hoping to capture some of his other shipping, but Bowles escaped. He soon retaliated by taking the fort of San Marcos to Appalach, or Fort St. Mark's, but that's a story for another day. But this was the first Battle of Prospect Bluff. Many people don't know about it, and that was Prospect Bluff's history as a pirate base. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Dale Cox. You can learn a lot more about Prospect Bluff on 2EGG TV.